Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. We are here for another episode of The Debate. I'm joined once again, only for the second time ever, by Alex and Adam, returning after last time. How you doing, lads?
Deja vu, isn't it?
Yeah. It is deja vu, just like the other day when we did this.
Yeah, that's it.
Today, though, we're going to be talking about Harry Maguire and his partners at Manchester United in centre-back. We're going to be looking at Victor Lindelof primarily, he's been pretty ubiquitous in that position so far this season, but there is definitely arguments and people saying that maybe long-term he maybe isn't the right man to partner Harry Maguire. So that's where we've got Alex in. You're going to be defending Victor Lindelof, aren't you, Alex?
I certainly am.
And Adam's here as well. You're going to be saying that maybe we need a slight change of direction in terms of centre-back partnership for Maguire.
I'm not against Lindelof playing for Manchester United. I actually think he's a good player. I just think we have one better in the team.
Very good. Right, so you're going to get 30 seconds each to make your point. Alex, let's have you first. 30 seconds to say why you think Victor Lindelof is the man to take United forward at centre-back. You ready?
Yep.
Off you go.
Victor Lindelof, been a fantastic partner for Harry Maguire this season, and also towards the end of last season was probably our best defender and head and shoulders above everyone else, especially since the first Juventus game. I think he's really shown how good he is. And I think building the partnership is the main thing. I think Lindelof has done that for this season, and I think especially knowing that we're going to need to strengthen other areas of the pitch and also work in other areas of the pitch, I think Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire should stick together and be the partnership going forward.
Very nice indeed. Perfect timing as well on that. Very good, very good. Adam, it's your turn. You think maybe Lindelof's time is not coming to a close, but is that time of being the first choice centre back? Yeah. Maybe we're looking in another direction. Let me hear what you've got to say about that. You've got 30 seconds starting from now.
I think Eric Bailly should be Manchester United's partner for Harry Maguire. I've got nothing against Victor Lindelof. I think he's a fantastic defender, but I think he's very similar to Harry Maguire in what he tries to do. And actually, whilst we should look to build a partnership, we shouldn't just overlook better defenders that we have in the team. When Eric Bailly is fit, he's in our top two centre-halves for me, and he's the perfect foil for what Harry Maguire tries to do. Lindelof is been reliable, yes, but he does give the ball away a lot as well at times when we're trying to build attacks.
There you go. Good. Very good. Very good. I've got to cut you off, I'm afraid. 30 seconds. Rules are rules, mate.
Rules are rules.
And we know we play by the rules here on Stretford Paddock. It's a good point, and it makes a good point there, Alex. Looking at Lindelof, he said that Eric Bailly is one of the two best centre-backs at Manchester United. Looking at some of the weaknesses of Lindelof then, do you think maybe his aerial ability or, that is one of the things that's been sort of thrown at him in terms of potential weaknesses? Do you think that is sort of costing United goals and games?
I think it was last season, definitely. I think the players next to him definitely weren't helping him. And I think the fact that things were chopping and changing, I think they'd figured out that was one of United's weaknesses. I think this season's been a lot better. I think he's been a lot better. I think he's definitely improved. It's something he's working on. You can see just he's going up for more aerial duels more than he is, not just is he winning more of them. So he's definitely improving in that sense. And I think the 3 or 4 games a season that he does struggle because it's not the natural thing now to have a big striker that he struggles against. It's only it's the Brighton games, the Watford games. There's a few games, and I think that keeping that partnership together is something very important. I think that they have got a really good relationship this year, those two. And I think Matic coming back, I think the couple of games when Matic has now got his form back a bit and he's playing a lot better football, I think he's looked a lot better. I think having someone that can drop on that centre forward and help him out a little bit. And I think changing him out of that just because of, again, 3 or 4 games a season is crazy, really.
Yeah, and it's a good point you said there about the partnership. And one of the reasons that Eric Bailly's not really been able to make a partnership since he's come to United has been these persistent injuries. So, Adam, do you think, would you just overlook those injuries? Are you just hoping for the best? Or, if you want to sort of go into the next season with Eric Bailly as your first choice, do you risk losing a partnership that's been built and then putting that on a player that isn't physically reliable?
Well, you're not risking it because I'm not suggesting we let Victor Lindelof go. I'm just suggesting we play our best players. Now, obviously, Eric Bailly's had his issues with injuries, but besides his issues with injuries, his actual form for the club has been good now. We can only go on what we see at the moment. He's fit. Now, if he breaks down again, you've got to we get to a point where we've got to look at his long-term future at the club. But as of yet, I don't think we're at that stage with him, and his form has never been a problem. So for me, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking Ollie's done quite well with him in terms of reintroducing him to the squad, getting him back fit. I don't think Victor Lindelof's a bad player. I think he's pretty good, but I think him and Maguire are very similar in how they bring the ball out from the back. I do think Maguire's a little bit better aerially. I think Eric Bailly is a little bit better aerially, and why he looks erratic with some of the things that he does, and we laugh about it and all that, I don't actually think he is that erratic. You can't think of a mistake really, or you may be able to think of one, but there's not many mistakes that jump out when you think of Eric Bailly. He's actually quite reliable at centre half, and I think he's better with the ball at his feet as well, bringing the ball out from the back if he's needed to do that. But for me, I look at it this way. Maguire and Lindelof are quite similar. I'm not saying they're exactly the same. Bailly and Twanzebe could be the foils for Maguire or Lindelof. And having four quality centre halves is what's needed at a top club. And I think we'd have it there. If you sell Smalling, Jones and Rojo, you can then maybe bring another one into the mix or something. But those four should be the four that we build on. But just because Lindelof's played for this season and Bailly's been injured, that doesn't mean Bailly shouldn't be allowed to be considered having a chance of being first choice or anything. And I think once we see him reintroduced to the first team on a more regular basis, it'd become obvious that he should be starting alongside Harry Maguire.
Do you not think though that bringing Bailly in, starting the season with seemingly this new partnership might kind of ruin that partnership that's been sort of made between Lindelof and Maguire?
No, you don't. If we started or restarted this season and we played Maguire and Bailly, it's not like Ollie's in the changing room saying, "Lads, this is our new partnership. This is the two that we're going with for the foreseeable." That's not what partnerships are formed by performances and the quality of performances, and then they earn their spot in the first team. Can you say? I can't even say Harry Maguire is, but because of the fact he's got the armband, he kind of is regarded first choice. But you can't say Victor Lindelof stone cold deserves his spot in that team without competition or without a doubt. I don't think that's the case, and I think if we start to see Bailly play more, you'll see he's in our top two. I actually think he's our best centre half when fit and when playing.
I mean, I think the injury thing is a bigger thing than you make. I think it's kind of getting to the point now where it's been 2 or 3 seasons now with Eric Bailly, and I think he's been. You're right. I've had no problems over him. I think he's played some quality games. I think even this season, coming back in against Chelsea, he was a very, very good. But I think there is a possibility of sort of ruining a partnership by doing that. I think just by you saw what happened with Lindelof at the start of last season when he kind of had that. You had that the motivation took out of him from Jose Mourinho, and you've seen that they just kind of said that these lot aren't good enough, and this is the thing, and that's when you're seeing so many mistakes from him. I think if you ruin the lad's confidence, I mean, obviously there's right ways.
But if competition's going to bring mistakes, then you shouldn't be at the club anyway. We've seen what competition from Brandon Williams has done to Luke Shaw's performance.
Yeah, it's definitely made it better, and again, if it's competition that's doing it, I don't see a problem with that. But I still think Lindelof is your go-to at the moment, so go alongside Maguire. I think they have built something up. Whilst I think you're right, they kind of have the same way in the way they step out of defence. I think they complement each other in different ways. I think Lindelof on the floor is a better defender than he gets credit for as well. I think he deals with probably the better strikers better than anyone else. I think the players when he plays it. Done very well against Guerrero, done very well against Ronaldo in the 2 Juventus games last season. I think he's very, very good against the top opposition. I think that's where he stands out.
There was one of those stats as well about how I think he'd been taken on either 1 or 0 times this season, and that was in about March. So, like I said, on the floor, he is an excellent defender. And Eric Bailly kind of, whilst he's, like I said, he sometimes looks erratic, I think he's more considered and a better player than he kind of seems. But he does have a tendency to be sprinting in for those last-ditch challenges, sliding across, diving across. He kind of, one of the criticisms people used to give for like John Terry, that kind of player, is why do you have to slide in all the time? Why do you have to be flying across people coming in last minute? Do you think that maybe sometimes Bailly gives people a bit of room and then relies on his pace? He kind of does almost like what Wan-Bissaka does, where he's like, go on then, have the ball, and then I'll fly in and get it off you. But as centre-back, sometimes that can be a bit risky. He gives fouls away sometimes, and like I said, he can be a little bit erratic. Do you not sort of worry about over a full season those mistakes maybe slipping in at him?
I don't know. I genuinely don't. I think we saw in his first season, he had pretty much a full season. He was fine for me.
I think that thing is that you've not really seen a full season from him. I think that's one of the big questions, is that you've not seen him stay fit. You've not seen him stay with a partnership all the way through. I think it's that thing of how do you give him, I mean, how do you give him the time? How do you let him do that? Because if it goes again, that's kind of it, innit? That's Eric Bailly.
Yeah,
I think it's that. Do you stunt Lindelof in terms of taking him out of the team? Because then we've also mentioned Tuanzebe. I think there's also the argument that he needs to be the one pushing Lindelof just as much as Bailly is as well. And I think that he's the one that could be pushing for that centre half, that second half spot. And
it reminds me of like what's going on with our midfield, though. People are like saying, Pogba can't get back into this and that. Now, I'm not comparing the two. I think Pogba's by far and away our best centre half, and Eric Bailly isn't by far and away Pogba's our best by far and away. Yeah. Bailly isn't by far and away our best centre half. But like it's not like we've got a Premier League winning team. We're not breaking up Rio and Vidic. Like we're trying to build a team to go somewhere. And if you're saying to me, Victor Lindelof, you might get mistakes from him. Well, that he shouldn't be at Manchester United in the first place. And I think we need to have competition in a team. That goes for Eric Bailly as well. And I just think trying to settle in on something because we feel like we found a partnership. I actually don't think we have found a partnership. Some of our best performances in defensively this season have come with three centre halves and Luke Shaw playing at left centre back. When you see Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire get dragged apart quite easily, that's when Victor Lindelof starts to look erratic. So you've got to ask, why have we came to this thing where we're playing three left centre backs? Yes, that's to benefit our wing backs and to benefit Wan-Bissaka and Brandon Williams and to kind of get them in. But ultimately, that may have also been done in a way to help protect Lindelof a little bit. I don't think we need that with Eric Bailly.
Looking at his injuries as well, there was a point where with looking at City, Vincent Kompany, Victor Lindelof, Vincent Kompany. Vincent Kompany, there's a point where he looked like he was done. He would get fit, he'd get injured again, get fit, get injured again, to the point where for 2 or 3 or a couple of seasons there, he hardly played any games. And then he came back and played almost every game the season that City won the league last time. And that was when he was like 33, 34. So it's not necessarily a lost cause with Eric Bailly, but you do have to worry about those injuries. Let's have a little look forward potentially then. You're talking there about, if you're making mistakes, maybe you should be at the club, and it's not like Vidic and Ferdinand that were separating here. Do you think there's a case to be made that maybe we need to bring in a new centre-back? Obviously, you think Bailly's excellent, but you have to admit that his availability has been probably his biggest weakness at United, and there's no evidence other than the fact that he's fit now that that's going to change. Do you think there's maybe a shout at him for getting another centre-back in, someone else who's like Eric Bailly but doesn't, get injured all the time?
I think we'll probably come to that point soon. I think because we've got to focus on... I genuinely don't think we're going to sign more than Sancho and Ighalo this summer. No. Maybe, if Pogba goes, we'll get Grealish or something like that. I don't think we're going to be spending money on a DM, which I feel that we need. I think we're being lured into this Matic contract, which is probably a bad idea. And I don't think we'll improve at centre-half unless it's a squad player with Smalling, Jones and Rojo potentially going out. I want to see us keep Tuanzebe and him be a part of the fourth centre-half. But again, if Eric Bailly's not fit, then maybe we look to invest in the future in a centre-half.
So we don't think it's going to happen this season.
It's going to be forced anytime soon, especially when you think a large chunk of our budget is going to be spent probably on Jadon Sancho. So if that happens and then we buy Ighalo, there's not much money there to be spent.
No, I don't think
I know we're being linked to Kalidou Koulibaly and De Ligt and all these guys, and as great as they are, we're not going to sign them.
Do you agree with that, Alex?
I agree. I think the Koulibaly signing is almost it'd be an iced on top of the cake signing thing. I think that's if that comes up, if for example, if he came up for it's under the £60 million mark, I think that's the kind of he's looking at maybe.
He's 29 now. It's not, he's not
But I think it's more along the lines of it's almost like the Robin van Persie signing, where I think the long-term goal for United at that point was to play Rooney up top and have Kagawa in behind him. I think that was the kind of plan. In the same way we've got Harry Maguire. I think
it was Van Persie and Kagawa, and Fergie wanted Rooney gone.
Yeah, well there was, but I think the fact that you can now turn around and go, we can make the best centre-back partnership in the world if you got Koulibaly. You could there. I think Maguire and Koulibaly is... I don't think anyone up there competes with that at this moment.
No one's got two as good as that.
No one point the other day, though, when he said to me on one of the shows we did on my channel, when he called Smalling the English Koulibaly, and it made me think, like, how much of this is him playing in that league? Like, obviously he's a fantastic player. It looks like it, but how much of it is that?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Because there are so many players, so many centre-backs that look good in Italy.
Eric Bailly would go to Roma or Inter.
Imagine.
Mint, mate.
He
and
would
we'd all be
incredible.
saying, yo, let's spend 100 million on like we were Koulibaly like 2 years.
Yeah.
This is why I think sometimes like just need to like not get
too giddy with it all.
Yeah,
like, you've got to remember as well,
ain't gonna happen.
Most of the top scoring strikers in Italy over the last few years have been like 35, slow, like old blokes, like Immobile, Quagliarella, who's like 38, was the top scorer in the league last season. What is like? Imagine Eric Bailly up against that. Like, obviously they're good in the air, but just trying to play through balls, trying to play in and around him. He'd tear it apart. But let's have a little look. You mentioned before Axel Tuanzebe as well. He is the age that Eric Bailly was when he joined Man United and played that almost full season and looked pretty excellent. Do you think it's time for him to step up?
To turn your argument on its head in regards to Bailly, because Tuanzebe had that injury issue now, where would you just say, "Oh, fucked with him"? You wouldn't give up on him.
It's not been 3 years of not being able to play. Has it?
I know that, but still, it's like he's had his issues over his time here at United, and it's like, just don't give up on players. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't say give up on him, but the argument isn't should we give up on Eric Bailly. It's should he take the spot of Victor Lindelof? And I would say for Tuanzebe at the moment, no as well.
That's going to happen. But Axel Tuanzebe is a fantastic talent. I was gutted he got injured against Liverpool because he was going to play on the left or the right of the three centre halves against Liverpool, and he would have looked pretty good there. And he got injured; he had to come out. Rojo came in, and just that unsettling him has affected him because maybe that was his big chance. Who knows? Like what happens now? Does he go out on loan this summer? Like I don't want him to. I think he should be one of our four centre halves, but we don't really know where he is now, which is a shame.
What do you think to the chances of Tuanzebe?
I like Tuanzebe. Again, I'd like to see him play a bit more, but again, it's whilst having four good centre halves it'd be great to have. I don't like rotation and stuff. It's still difficult to do. I think you've seen this season, even in the Europa League, Maguire's kept his spot, and I think he's going to play 50, 60 games in a season. I don't think that's going to change unless he has injury problems. So it's someone going alongside him, and can you give all three of them enough game time to?
But if you look at the way we're playing, Ollie seems quite tactically flexible.
I think he likes the three. He does like the three. And
play two. Having four isn't bad because yes, Maguire's going to be first choice, but like we know, Bailly might get injured. Lindelof said. Twanzebe being there, I think, is a good choice, especially for
I do, and that's the thing. I'd love to sit, but it's just one of them. It's whether he's willing to stick around. Maybe he wants to get first team football now. Maybe he sees that as the way. Maybe he sees going away from United is the best way of him breaking into the team, almost, if that makes any sense. Where him going away for another season, even if it's back to Villa, if they stay up or stay in the Premier or whatever happens, if he goes back to Villa and played there. And kind of made himself a first choice player there. Maybe that's his better way of getting himself into United's first team than dropping in and playing 10, 15 games or 20 games in a season. Maybe that's the way to do it. I don't know. Again, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors with that kind of stuff.
Right, that is going to be it. But before we go, you've both got 30 seconds to give your closing arguments. And even before that, I'm just going to remind everyone at home that we do have memberships here at Stretford Paddock. If you hit the little join button, you'll be able to see the different tiers that we offer. So it's a chance to get loads of extra content, loads of extra fun stuff. So if you're interested in any of that, please do sign up. It would help us a lot. So, Adam McCullough, you've got 30 seconds for your closing argument why you think Eric Bailly should replace Victor Lindelof in United's first team. Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Off you go.
Antonio Valencia said it best when he said, "This is Eric Bailly, my friend, the best centre half in the world," and that is factual. Eric Bailly's top 2 centre halves at Manchester United. Of course, the question mark is when fit, but he's fit now. And my opinion is he will become our first choice centre half alongside Harry Maguire. He's a perfect foil for him, and he's better than Victor Lindelof. As good as Victor Lindelof is, we need to improve on that. We can't get set on this partnership because it's not really a partnership. It's not Rio and Vidic.
There we go. Eric Bailly, the best centre half in the world, and top 2 at Manchester United. Alex, you got 30 seconds, mate. Tell us why you think Victor Lindelof, your final plea to those out there, why Victor Lindelof should keep his place as Man United's first choice partner for Harry Maguire. Off you go.
I do definitely think Victor Lindelof keeps his place. I think this season he has improved. I think that saying that he's not the best centre half is, I think he's definitely improved. He's getting better season on season. And I think as well, from the start of this season, him and Harry Maguire have developed a very good partnership. I do think long term there is a replacement in there, but I think for now, I definitely think Victor Lindelof is the one to go alongside Harry Maguire for next season.
There we go. There we go, lads. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining me. If you want to check out Adam, where can they find you, Adam?
Subscribe to Adam McCullough TV, linked in the description. And Joel's going to put a card up here somewhere.
Gonna put a card. I'll put it next to you. I'll put it there, down on the bottom there, look, underneath you. So click there, just there now, and you'll be able to go to his YouTube channel and check out those YouTubes out. Don't, ow! Bit me. Cheeky. And Alex, of course, where can they find you?
Baggers_Alex on all social medias. And
_. Alex, not on there, Adam. Less of that. That is going to be all from us. Let us know in the comments, who do you think should be United's first choice partner for Harry Maguire next season? Not really too much of you looking for new transfers. I think that might be a bit more popular in the comments, but like I said, let us know in the comments.
Get real.
Get real.
After the coronavirus, we're going to have about 50 million to spend.
Right, that's it. Cut him off. Cut him off. Getting political. We will see you very soon. See you in a bit.